Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. I'm your host, Kelly.
You didn't say Stop the Internet Podcast.
Oh my God, I didn't. Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm your host, Kelly.
And I'm your real host, apparently, Erin.
It's been so long since I recorded. Actually, it's probably only been 2 weeks, but that feels like a long time.
Has it really been 2 weeks, though? I feel like it hasn't been.
I don't know.
Long.
Usually when I go a week without it, I forget how everything works, but we're back. Since it's the holidays and Christmas and the New Year are upon us, we figured we'd do a wholesome episode where we just share happy stories and things that will lift your spirits. And
Woohoo.
Put you in a positive mindset as we go into the new year. I realized that we just have so many heavy stories that are so sad.
Way too dramatic.
Yeah, and scary. And yeah, we just need something to uplift us. So that's what today is going to be. Some of them are short. And some of them, when I was reading them, I'm like, is this real? But at the same time, it's like, even if it's not real,
there's no harm in happiness.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? Pretend it's real for the sake of the feeling.
All right, so for your fun fact this week, what's your favorite Christmas song that's like not necessarily, like Not All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey? Like what's like another... What's a jam?
Okay, My Only Wish This Year by Britney Spears.
Absolutely. Okay, that's number
that
one.
Song slaps. And then there's this song called Turn Up Ye Merry Gentlemen. And it's like a trap. It's like a trap remix of, actually, I don't even know what song it is. It might be copyrighted, but I think I can play 10 seconds of it. Here's a sample of Turn Up Ye Merry Gentlemen on Spotify.
Okay.
It's so good.
Yeah, certainly feels like a Westchester University basement prep party.
What's your favorite pop song, Christmas song?
I don't know, probably Britney.
Yeah, that one's a jam.
Unconventionally, though, you know, for our generation, maybe like Step Into Christmas by Elton John.
Which one is that?
It's like, Step Into Christmas.
Oh, is that what that song's called?
Forever and ever.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I don't know the words,
wow.
But it's a jam.
Let's jump into the wholesome stories.
Okay.
We're both going to be reading stories today.
Okay.
Wait, side note? Well, it's not really a side note. It can just be our first story. We experienced a wholesome moment recently. Erin's car was parked at a train station and I dropped her off to go pick it up. And as I was about to pull away, her car wouldn't start. And so we get out our jumper cables and we're like about to do it. And thankfully it was the middle of the day and we were in a nice area. So it wasn't scary or anything, just a little bit annoying. This guy pulled up and he was like, "Are you guys okay?" And we were like, "Oh yeah, I think so. Like, we're just gonna try this." And he's like, "You think you're okay or you know you're okay?" And we were like, think. And he just like immediately gets out of his car and comes over, has this little like battery pack. He's like, "Okay, here's how you do this," like blah, 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 like plugging it in. And he's like, "Get in the car, start it." It starts right up. And he's like, "There you go." And we were like, what? We were like, "Who are you? Thank you so much." And he was like, "You got it. Like, it's way too cold out here to be, you know, your car won't start." Like, it was so nice. And I was like, "Wait, I feel like we should like give you something. Like, can we do something for you?" And he's like, no, nothing. Like, I don't need anything. This is like what I do." And he's like, "Have a good day." And just like gets in his car and drives off. And he was wearing Crocs. It was so funny with like
I didn't see
all these like luxury brands on them. It was so funny.
See that,
it was
or it would
so
have been
cute.
a whole different story because I have a personal vendetta against Crocs.
No, this guy was so nice though, and he just drove away and we never saw him again. And I was like,
that
"What?
was so nice.
So nice."
He just pulled, like, it's not like he was there.
Yeah.
And like he just was like literally driving by.
Yeah.
Just stopped.
Yeah.
So nice.
So nice.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
At the train station.
Maybe we'll run into him again. It just like inspired me to do something nice for somebody else. Although I don't know. I guess I could do a different thing. Like, I can't help someone with their car.
I don't really. I don't often come across people that need me to jump their cars. Although I have jumped people's cars in the past, so like strangers' cars. So maybe that was our karma.
Yeah.
Just like 6 years later.
Amazing.
My boyfriend is obsessed with penguins. I already want to cry because penguins are my favorite animal.
I feel like we're going to cry in this episode.
I'm definitely going to cry because penguins are my absolute favorite animal. Also,
wait, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they've always been my favorite. They're so cute.
Wow.
And quick side note, shout out to my friend Court, who just had a baby. Penguins are also her favorite animal, and they just had a newborn photo shoot, and naturally she dressed up her newborn as a penguin.
Aww.
Literally the cutest thing I've ever seen.
A baby penguin.
I know, it was literally a baby penguin.
Cute.
Okay. Anyway, my boyfriend is obsessed with penguins. My 30 female boyfriend, 27 male, adores penguins. And it's so stinking wholesome. I'm a former zookeeper, so I always tell him stories about my old penguins, and he sits with such awe in his eyes, it's almost like he's a child. Wait. My heart, like, so lucky that he's dating a zookeeper.
I know. That's so cute.
That's so cute. Not to get off track here, but we have a friend who's a veterinarian, and literally I ask all the time when I can get in touch with a penguin, and he's like, it just doesn't work like that. So what I need is a zookeeper. Anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure what to get him for Christmas, but I think I got the best freaking gift ever. I'm not much of a gift giver, but I purchased tickets to a local zoo for their penguin encounter. It's absolutely eating me up inside because I'm so excited to see his reaction. I am terrible at keeping secrets, and I needed to tell someone. OP, you just changed your boyfriend's life.
Aww, I wanna do a penguin encounter.
I could cry thinking about doing a penguin encounter.
That's so cute.
Oh my God, I love penguins. They're so cute. They're so innocent.
I guess.
Well, actually, they're not that innocent. Like, if they lose one of their eggs in the storm, they try to steal other penguins' eggs. This is why, March of the Penguins, saddest movie that ever happened.
Yeah.
Happy Feet, second saddest movie.
Happy Feet slaps. That's a great movie.
It's too sad.
I don't really remember what it's about other than he does a little dance. Okay, let's stay on track.
Okay.
Okay. I love when my husband quietly makes me a little snack. Sometimes he'll cut up an apple or orange and quietly sit it near me without making a fuss or saying anything. Next thing I know, I scurry over to the little bowl of fruit like a grateful little mouse who didn't know all they needed was a snack.
Facts.
We love a grateful queen. Wait, that story reminded me of this TikTok that I saw. It was a couple sitting at a restaurant table, and the guy just pushes over a rock, like a little pebble, to his girlfriend. And the girlfriend's like, stop giving me rocks. And then it's like, this girl stitched it. And so it just clips to her crying in her room, and she's just like, I want a rock. And I was like, wait,
Grateful.
That's so true. It's it's not about what it is. It's about the thought.
Yeah.
And it's every time he sees a rock, he thinks of her. I would sob.
Yeah, but think of me when you see something else.
No, it's not about that. It's like he just created this special thing, and he's like, oh, now I'm gonna give it to her to make her laugh and whatever. Okay,
that's fair. That's cute. Story. My cat realizes my decline into depression and is really stepping up to comfort me. This one's gonna hit me because I do think a lot of cats are evil, and I'm scared of some evil ones.
Oh my God.
Okay, here we go. Lately, I've been feeling really insecure and lonely. I've become somewhat of a space cadet, and my mom yells at me a lot for things I don't even realize I'm doing. I accidentally threw my socks in the bin instead of the laundry basket the other day, and I had no idea. Mom says I'm being careless, but I really am trying my best. I keep forgetting to do things, and the only thing I do repeatedly is go to the gym so I can feel better about my body. No one acknowledges my depression. My friends keep saying everyone gets sad, or they believe their problems are more important. I posted about it before, and people say depression is a mindset and I need to snap myself out of it. Wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've tried. I go to therapy. I've tried over 10 depression meds. I dated my best friend and we broke up, and now I feel totally alone in life. The only one who accepts me and sits with me through the darkness is my 8-year-old cat, Karma. Karma is a cat purring in my lap because he loves me. I am tearing up as I write this. Every time I cry audibly, she comes to me. I call her name and she jumps on me and sits in my lap or on my chest. Sometimes she doesn't seem to want to, so she doesn't stay long, but she always checks in on me. She purrs and warms me with her little body. She makes me feel seen. She doesn't lose her patience with me. Sometimes when I cry, I drip tears on her. Like most cats, she hates water. She moves away from the source of brine, but doesn't leave my side. I don't know what I'd do without her. I've left her and returned many times when I went to university abroad. She has always forgiven me and warmed up to me again. I feel as if she is taking care of me more than anyone ever has. She looks me right in the eyes and slow blinks reassuringly. She doesn't speak words, but she makes me feel understood and safe. She doesn't have an amazing color or distinct features that would deem her the cutest cat, but for some reason I was drawn to her when I adopted her. My grandma even said, "Don't you want that one? He's cuter," pointing at her brother. I shook my head and picked her up. I chose her, and I feel as if she's been grateful to me ever since. She hasn't bonded with anyone else in the way that she has with me. She is calm and so loving. She has more compassion than 99% of people I've ever met. Most emotional support animals are dogs, and most people accuse cats of being aloof creatures who companionships can't compare. I do love dogs, but her kindness means so much more to me because she is selective and isn't excited to see everyone. She is a free-spirited being who chooses to comfort me, not because she's been trained to, but because she wants to. That means so much to me. I love her more than words can say, and I hope she lives as long as possible. I love my cat, and she really makes me feel as if she loves me back. The world is dark, and I would like to hear about all of the furry/feathered heroes who don't speak, but somehow make life worth living.
Pets are so wholesome and pure.
Yeah, we don't deserve animals in this world.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it is really cute.
Oh, karma.
In college, my roommates and I, we had ducklings, and they got really big before they left our house to go to our friend's farm. Ducks are animals that can't be alone. They need to have a companion. And when they were really, really little, they were kind of okay being separate. They would sit on opposite couches with one of the humans, and they could not see each other and be fine. But as they got bigger and they could always see each other, they would freak out if they couldn't see each other. And one time, one of the ducks, and it's so funny to think back on because it was literally a humongous duck standing in our hallway. One of the other ducks, I think we took both of the ducks upstairs to rinse them off in the sink. And the one duck, escaped and ran downstairs, and then it realized it couldn't find its sibling, and it was screaming. It was quacking so loud. It was freaking out. And all I hear is Brittany downstairs screaming, "She's okay! She's okay!" Trying to calm the duck down. Aww. It was just it was heartbreaking, but her friend was okay. We brought her down. They were reunited. It was fine. It was only a couple minutes. Aww. But just to think about how animals are so loyal. Are you kidding me?
Wait, one of my wholesome stories that I have is just a sentence, but it's relevant. Not a story, but a fact. Every cow has a best friend and they hang out every day.
What?
I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, it's so pure.
That is so cute.
I know. I just found out my girlfriend keeps a record of details about me. I recently found out my girlfriend has been keeping track of details about me. I discovered this when she found out I'm allergic to tomatoes and grabbed her phone to write something down. After that, I started noticing any time I mention something I haven't told her before, she puts it in there. She doesn't know I know, and it's the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Since then, I've dropped in random tidbits about myself. Watching the joy in her face as she tries to stealthily grab her phone melts my heart. Since then, I've dropped in random tidbits about myself. Watching the joy on her face as she tries to stealthily grab her phone melts my heart. It's a small thing, but it's made my day, and I wanted to get it out there.
Aww. I do think that that's so adorable, but I also how do you not just remember these facts? I feel dating someone, when I'm obsessed with them, I memorize literally everything they tell me.
It's the thought.
It's the thought, I guess. I guess I'm a Scrooge. Sorry.
I thought it was cute.
It is cute. It is really cute. My mom doesn't know I know what she said. Throwaway account because my mom follows my main. And I guess it's not that I don't want her seeing this, but more of an anonymous thing, I guess. I, 14 male, am a roller coaster enthusiast. Ever since 2020, I've been in love with the things. And this year, I rode my first adult coaster, Great Bear. It's at Hershey Park, FYI.
Oh, shout out PA. That's a great ride.
That, unironically, set me on the life path I was looking for. Because of mental health issues, life issues, undiagnosed medical conditions, etc., I've only really been able to function as a human for 1.5 years or so, probably. So I was desperate to find what I truly loved, and I found it. I'm set to get a job designing rides, specifically coasters, and this is what makes me happier than anything else, besides my family, of course. This is where my parents parents come in. The other day at like 11 p.m., my dad came into my room. He started a conversation. We talked a minute, and he moved to the topic of him talking with my mom. For some backstory, my mom hasn't been happy with her body for years now. She struggles to keep a workout routine. I feel really bad because she doesn't realize how beautiful she is and constantly talks badly about herself. That said, I understand wanting to be healthier, and that's always a good thing. Problem is, she just can't seem to always find something that works for her. He told me that she said, and I'll attempt to quote it, "I want to start working out again. That way I can ride roller coasters with my name for a long time." I don't want him to finally get out to like Magic Mountain and not be able to ride anything with me because I'm older. This is something that we've really bonded over, and I want to keep that. Her main reason of trying again is me, bonding with me over the thing that I love. Obviously, this is going to benefit her all around, but I love how much she cares about things that I care about. I seriously couldn't get a better mom. She deserves more credit, and I hope I can give that to her. She supported me through some of the worst crap imaginable, and she did it near flawlessly. She's a strong woman who absolutely crushes every obstacle, and I'd die for her a million times over. She doesn't know I know she said that, but I'm going to try putting extra effort into showing interest into the things she loves. Hell, I might even let her teach me how to crochet. We'll make cute little hats together, hats with frogs on them. Crap. No, we have to do that. Anyway, that's it. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Hug your mom for me.
Pure.
Oh, P.
Wait, I love that he's 14 and he can already appreciate what he has.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I just want a picture of OP and his mom wearing their little crocheted frog hats on a roller coaster. I want that in my living room. So cute.
Okay, this one's called I Knew the Entire Time, but I'll Never Tell Him. About 8 months ago, I decided I was going to throw a big party for my 30th birthday. As soon as I mentioned it, my partner, 38 male, was determined to organize it for me, but me, being the stubborn control freak I am, wouldn't let him. A few days later, I was laughing and telling my best friend about it, and she said, OMG, maybe he's going to propose. And from that day on, I couldn't get it out of my head. We had been together for 9 years at that point, and we had talked about marriage on multiple occasions. Over the next 8 months of planning and organizing, I couldn't forget what my best friend had said. I never mentioned it to my partner, but I never forgot. I noticed little things like him looking at my rings, making comments about rings in jewelry shop windows. Then one day, one of my prized rings disappeared. Then when I went to pay for our dinner the next night, there it was in the coin section of his wallet. Fast forward to the day of my party. I had so much to do, so much to set up and finalize, I actually did forget about it. That was until later that night when he gathered everyone together to cut the cake, and as soon as he spoke, it hit me. He's nervous. He's actually going to do it. A few moments later, he got down on one knee and asked me to marry him. I was so happy I obviously said yes. All night, he was so happy and proud of himself for keeping the secret and being able to organize himself and surprise me, because I am notoriously difficult to surprise, but of course I knew the whole time. To see how happy he was really just made me love him even more. And that is why this secret I will take to my grave. I will never tell him I knew. Never.
Aww.
It's so cute.
Imagine someone loving you enough to like, I can't.
To marry you.
To marry you. Couldn't imagine it. This I could imagine. My friend ordered me McDonald's and I've never been so touched. I went to a friend's house earlier today to watch some football. We'll call him Brad. My friends do this sort of thing all the time. It's really casual and we just chill out for the day. Normally we order food, but today Brad made me pulled pork sliders for everyone. I was diagnosed with a digestive disorder this year and have a really limited list of foods that's safe for me to eat, and I can't eat pork. I ate before I arrived, so this wasn't a big deal. I was just planning on skipping them. About a half hour after we get there, someone knocks on the door delivering McDonald's. Brad answers and brings the bag straight to me. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were coming and I wanted you to be able to eat. This is safe, right? McDonald's cheeseburgers are one of my safe foods that I've mentioned before. It seems like such a silly thing, but it seriously touched me. A lot of the time, I feel people don't take my digestive disorder seriously, and it was really just nice to have someone go that extra mile. I've never been happier to eat a cheeseburger.
Pure. It's the little things.
It is really the little things.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
I worked at the gas station down the street from his house. He was one of the regulars. He would come in every morning and buy a Red Bull and a pack of Hostess chocolate donuts, and every evening a 2-liter of Mountain Dew and Swisher sweet cigars. I know that sounds like such a Chad douche type. of purchase, but he is everything but that. We would flirt back and forth for months. I could hear him pulling into the parking lot every time. I'd run to the back, check my hair and makeup, and run back out to be sure that I got to see his gorgeous smile. I was smitten, and we only spent time together with a counter between us. One day, I got tired of waiting for him to ask me out. I knew he wasn't involved with anyone, so I finally got up the courage to ask him, "Are you ever going to ask me to come over and hang out, or are we just going to keep playing this flirting game?" He turned 50 shades of red, biggest smile on his face, stuttering over his words. Yeah, for sure. Let me have your number. He texted me about an hour later asking to come over after I got off work, so I did. 15 years later, we are married. We have 2 amazing kids. We are currently snuggled up on the couch together, more in love than yesterday. Shit. He is my best friend, my person. Fuck. Cliche and all, we are soulmates, and he is absolutely my favorite person in the entire world. We have shared goals, values, interests, and a never-ending level of mutual care and respect for each other. Not mutual care and respect. That's so cute. Aww. Oh my God. Meant to be.
Oh. I never realized how much people care about me until my partner went food shopping today. A little bit of background. I grew up in a very difficult household. As a result, in my teenage and now adult years, I've had a hard time believing that I deserve to be paid attention to. I'm a huge people pleaser, and I was led to believe I only deserved attention when I was doing something good. I was brought up feeling less important than I am. Thus, I often felt it was okay for my partners to not really pay attention to my needs or to not go out of their way for me, because no matter how much I wish they did, deep down I knew I didn't deserve it. Now, back to present day, whenever my partner and I go food shopping, we usually go together, or I go alone if he's busy. Because of this, I know everything we get on a weekly basis. His food, my food, and the stuff we share. He and I eat similar things, but there are some things I get every week that he doesn't eat. Something like tofu, LOL. We usually grab our own stuff and throw it. What's so funny about tofu?
I don't know.
Hope he said tofu, LOL.
I don't know.
Sorry. We usually grab our own stuff and throw it in the cart, and I honestly assumed he never paid attention to what I got. It didn't make sense why he would if I'm there with him. We eat meals together, and I know he sees the food that I eat that he doesn't, but I never expected him to pay attention to exactly what I eat. Today he went food shopping by himself on his way home. I usually get the same 5 foods every time I go. Today I told him to just get me a loaf of bread, thinking I didn't want to spend too much on groceries and I could just go again later. He came home and started unloading the groceries. I soon realized not only did he get me the bread, but he also got me everything else I usually get, without my asking for it, and roses. I was genuinely shocked, not because I don't think he's not thoughtful, but because I've never had a partner that remembers the smallest things about me. They remember the brands and the types of foods that I get. This man got me extra firm tofu. I'm pretty sure he'd never eaten tofu until a month ago. In that moment, I first of all knew that I wanted to be with him forever. But second of all, I just felt such a feeling of importance that I've never felt before. I can't even begin to explain to him how grocery buying for me turned my whole view of my life around. Oh, P.
You do deserve love.
And you do deserve extra firm tofu. That is so cute.
Wait, speaking of flowers, I was gifted flowers for the very first time as a man, and it was one of the best and most thoughtful gifts I have ever received. I just finished my master's, and as a congratulations, 4 of my friends, all women from my class, gathered to gift me flowers. They gave them to me yesterday while I was out with one of them, and I couldn't help but smile and stare at them the whole time. As I was going back home, I just had to do some paperwork. I was parading on campus with them like the happiest and proudest man on earth. Now they sit on the table of my living room, and I look at them as I'm writing this. I love my friends so much.
Aww.
Wait, another flower story. A couple weeks into starting the podcast, Trisha bought me flowers.
Aww.
And she wrote this little note about like, congratulations about the start of the podcast, like, love
it's
you.
Hanging up in our
yes,
studio.
I hung it up in the studio because a little handwritten note like that means more to me than any gift, but then that and flowers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no guy has ever bought me flowers, but
I know.
Trisha has, one of my best friends and cousin. And I'm like, you need your friends. Like, your friends are there for you, just even when other people aren't.
Yeah, just that last line of that story just, like, spoke to me. Like, I love my friends so much.
Yeah.
Like, I just like feel like I say on a daily basis how much I love my friends, and like I literally can't even put enough meaning into the word love when I refer to my friends and how much they mean to me, because they're just so perfect. I just love them. I love them so much. All of them. You all know who you are. And if you don't have friends that you truly love, you need to get into a better circle. You absolutely do.
I was going to say this to say at the end to like wrap it up, but I'll say it now because it's relevant. I feel like our friends are so supportive of everything we do. And as soon as we started the podcast, everyone, whether they're involved in it or not, was so excited and quick to be like, oh my God, that's so exciting. Like sharing it on their stories and like wearing the sweatshirts and putting out stickers. And everyone is so nice. And I just heard this thing years ago where it's like, if you notice how when somebody from your high school or like someone's like friend of a friend starts a brand, they typically get a lot of criticism. Like, oh, did you see like that girl started a business or like blah, 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 like is trying to do this. But then when a celebrity starts a makeup brand or a skincare brand or something, like everyone is so quick to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's like these celebrities, they have it easy. Like they don't need your support as much as a friend does, or like that girl from your high school that's just like trying to do her own thing and make it happen without millions of dollars behind her. And it's like, why is that? Like, why are people so quick to support celebrities over friends? But I just feel like it was the opposite with us. Like all of our friends were so supportive from day one, and they still are. And I am so thankful for that. So shout out to the real ones out there.
I just love our friends so much.
Me too.
They're the best. The kid I babysit just said something that has had a bigger effect on my confidence than he'll ever know. I, 15 male, have been babysitting George, 9 male, not his real name, for years now. Something important to know about me is that I'm struggling heavily with self-image issues. In particular, puberty hit me like a truck, and now my face is covered in acne. For the longest time, I hated this for myself, believing that nobody could ever like me with looks like mine. Well, I got a call from the mother, who happened to be a family friend, telling me not to come in today because George has contracted chicken pox. However, to my surprise, the mother told me he was actually happy to have the illness. Confused, I asked her why, and she told me he said he was happy because he gets to look like OP. It took me a few seconds before I realized that he was talking about his face. He was happy to have pock marks because they made him look like he had my pimples. I have genuinely never been so flattered in my entire life. It was such a minor thing, and I will never tell him about it when he is older. But the boost to my confidence has been massive. I now feel so much better about my face, knowing that there is a kid out there who idolizes me enough to be happy to have the chicken pox. Kids truly are awesome.
I love that story.
That is so sweet, because when I used to babysit and had acne, Chase said, Miss Erin, what's wrong with your face?
I used to teach swim lessons as like my job in high school and college, and this one girl was so cute, and it was over the summer, and I was like super tan that week when she came in, and she got in the pool and she was like, oh my God, you are so beautiful. And I was like literally with my hair wet, and like the chlorine, like it just destroyed my hair. Like it would make my skin so dry, and like I was like pruny and everything after being in a pool for hours. And she literally was like, you're so beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, that was so cute. No, and I was like, okay, so I know I need a tan to stand out. No, she was so cute. I was like, that just like made my whole life.
Yeah, nothing hits more than a little kid compliment.
Yeah, because you know they don't lie. They just like can't tell lies. They only tell you what's true or what they actually think.
It's so crazy. Like I used to work in college at a summer camp, and I had the little kiddos, like 5-year-olds. It's so crazy because they like strongly use the word love and beautiful, like you said. During Spirit Week, we had a day where you came in dressed up as your favorite character, and a lot of kids would come in like, you know, Superman or Elsa or whatever. And I had a girl come in wearing a long blonde Rapunzel wig and a name tag that said, hi, my name is Miss Erin.
Aww.
And I was like, are you kidding me?
That's
like
so
I literally
cute.
cried. I'm her favorite character. And then the same summer, at the end of the summer, I had a little girl who was leaving the week before the last week of summer, so she like drew me a picture. The mom wrote the note. The mom wrote, like, Penny asked me to write this for you, so these are her words. And it was literally like, Miss Erin, I wish you could come to school with me. You're so beautiful, and I love you so much. And I was like, oh my God, Penny, I do want to come to school with you.
So cute.
I literally cried at work on both of those occasions.
That's so cute. Yeah, when I taught swim, some of the kids would annoy me so much. But then, like, at the end of the class, they would randomly just, like, give me, like, the biggest hug and be like, I love you. And then they would leave. And, like, I know they don't know what that means or, like, whatever. And they just think it's normal because it's like, oh, when you go over your family's house, like, you have to say, I love you, and, like, hug them goodbye. But it would be so cute. And, like, if one kid did it, they would just, like, all do it. And I'd be like, you guys are so cute.
Kid hugs hit different, too.
I know.
Whenever people I know are like, oh, do you want to babysit for me? Whether it's, like, family or, like, a coworker, I'm like, do your kids want to cuddle with me? Like, don't they just want to sit with me?
Kids are so pure.
I know, they're so cute. I was babysitting her cousin's daughter, and she was just, like, so sleepy one day and didn't want to take a nap. So she was like, can we lay on the couch and watch, Frozen or whatever? I was like, sure. So I'm laying on the couch, and she's laying on my chest with her head, like, on my collarbone. And she, like, lifts her head up, and she's, like, poking my collarbone, and she's like, it's hard, it hurts. and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just my collarbone. And she was like, maybe we can switch sides. Like, oh, she's in for a rude awakening when she realizes I have one on the other side. 2 collarbones.
That's so cute.
Kids are just like something else.
I know. Okay, this is a tearjerker, I think. When my brother and I were young, our family did not have a lot of money. My dad had left, and my mom had to provide for us alone. Christmas was coming up, and the N64 had been out for a few years, but it was still relatively new. We never had anything even close to that kind of gift, and she decided to save up and get us one to share. There was a small shop in town that sold them, so she went and asked them to hold one in the back for her because she would not get paid until the week of Christmas, so she had to wait until then to bring it home. The owner agreed. Unfortunately, her payment was late. She walked to town every day for a week to tell the owner that it still hadn't come through and pleaded with him to not sell the game system. They were selling fast, and there were only a few left in the shop. By Christmas Eve, my mom was notified that she would be getting paid that day, and she just had to wait for it to clear, so she went to the shop to let the owner know she would be able to pay for the system that day. He was happy for her, but he told her that the shop was closing at 1 p.m. for the holidays, so she would have to be back by then. My mom was so thankful and went home to wait a few hours until her money came through. She kept walking back and forth to the ATM to check her account, but nothing. By the time the money came through, it was already after 1 and too late to get to the shop. She was devastated. It was Christmas Eve, and she had no gifts because she saved all her money for this one present. She sat at home crying, wondering on earth what she was going to do when there was a knock at the door. She opened it to find the owner of the shop. He has her address to hold the system in the back, standing there with a box in his hands. He said he was so touched seeing my mom walk to his shop every day to make sure the gift she wanted so desperately to give her children on Christmas was still there, and when she didn't turn up to collect it before he closed, he realized it could only be because she was still waiting for the money. He said he could not go home and enjoy his Christmas knowing that she was unable to give her children the gift she had worked hard and saved for. Not only did he bring the gift to our house on Christmas Eve, he gave it to her for less than half of what it cost and included the box of around 10 games for free. Me and my brother could not believe our eyes on Christmas morning. This was the most amazing gift we had ever owned, and we spent many hours bonding, playing it together. This man's act of kindness brought more happiness than he could have ever known to a single mother and her 2 young children on Christmas Day.
I'm sobbing. That one hits.
Right.
Just like the movie where Mickey and Minnie can't.
I was thinking that.
Where Mickey and Minnie can't afford each other's Christmas presents, and he sells his harmonica and she sells her locket, and they end up getting each other a harmonica case and a chain for the locket.
Yeah. If you don't know what she's talking about, it's a Disney movie where what she just said, it's like Mickey and Minnie, they're broke and they can't afford each other, so they both sell their most prized possession, but what they buy for each other is an accessory for the other's most prized possession.
That one, I cry every time.
Yeah,
too.
that one slaps.
Like, who made that into a Christmas movie for children? Why would you do that?
I love it.
I don't like things that make me cry. Wholesome, but like didn't need it. Okay. My 2-year-old broke me. 25 male. I'm not the most elegant writer, so bear with me. I've been under a lot of stress lately. My job has been restructuring, so I've been working swing shifts, long hours, and missing time with my kid due to call-offs. My significant other, 27 female, and I have been constantly arguing lately. She wants a bigger house, nicer things, a new car, etc., but she is a stay-at-home mom, and I'm finally making enough to be comfortable with our current situation, and with the local housing market being incredibly inflated, it's just not in the cards for us right now. Plus, health issues and debt from school just compound it all. We have a 2-year-old son who is my world. While my girlfriend was out running errands yesterday, I was playing music with our son in his bedroom. All of a sudden, he dropped his toys, ran up next to me, and just gave me the cutest little hug and started petting my back. He didn't say anything, he just hugged me. Cue the waterworks. Something inside me just broke, and I picked him up and just started crying while we hugged. I couldn't stop either. I don't even know why, but ever since then, I just feel like a huge weight is gone from my shoulders. Kids are just so wholesome and pure. That little dude is my rock.
Kids are wholesome.
They are.
That's so cute. Our moms pushed us together as kids, hoping we'd marry. We found each other as adults. Our moms were coworkers and gave birth to us days apart. They had this idea since they didn't want us to end up in bad relationships and end up single parents like they did. So they tried to keep us together throughout our life, hoping we'd marry and have a wonderful relationship. We spent nearly 4 to 6 hours a day with each other, spent nearly every holiday and birthday together, and had constant sleepovers. We kissed on New Year's Eve, 1999, and usually when together, either slept next to each other or even sometimes in the same bed. She was a tomboy from a pretentious private school, and nearly everything about her and our relationship built what I believed to be everything I look for in a woman today. One day, our moms got into a mysterious fight they wouldn't explain to us to this day. Each time I asked, I got a totally different story or an I can't remember. So about 7 to 8 years into their plan, they ripped us apart and we never saw each other again. She quietly became someone I missed greatly and always hoped I'd see again somehow. Many years later, when Facebook came out, when I was 19, I went into a big investigation trying to find her with only her old area, nickname, and her mom's name as clues. It took years, but one day, someone knew who I was talking about and helped us reconnect. We were both overjoyed to find each other, except there was something off. She had no memory of her childhood, outside of me being this nice kid who gave her a cat once. It hurt, but it was definitely her, and I was fine with not having the romance part. Deep down, part of me still wants to be with her. No relationship I ever had dating had that closeness, and I wanted what I had in our childhood friendship. So we kept talking through multiple social medias and texts. We tried to meet up about 5 or 6 times, but it always fell through. On the last one, she had to cancel because her boyfriend didn't like her having male friends, especially not childhood ones. But I saw she was really happy. She always posted videos and pics of them together and having a wonderful time and total joy. And that's all I ever really wanted for her, so I quietly stopped talking. We stopped talking for about 2 years. One day, my family was going through some tough times and messaged her, vaguely asking her to do a prayer for us. I got a reply a day later with, "Hey, can we do a phone call? I'd like to talk more." To my shock, she called my phone. I had no idea she even had my number, so she must have got it many years ago. I answered and was shocked by, "Hey, I really missed you, and it's great to hear your voice again." So we began talking about life, our families, jobs, and our mutual fascination with history and ancient practices. She told me she had an incredible problem with cheaters and just started getting into church. With every topic, we were laughing and bouncing off each other with conversation. She then offered for me to join her at church, and we've been talking daily since then. So we now have a meeting planned for church at a specific time to meet there. When our conversation was over, we had a long pause as we both nervously said goodbye. Now I have the possibility of meeting the girl of my dreams that built the very foundation in which I search for in all other girls I've ever pursued. She's intelligent, funny, and incredibly gorgeous. I see all the pictures of her and her boyfriend vanish from her social media, and suddenly it began to make sense why she's suddenly talking now. Even if she has a boyfriend, I'd be totally okay with it and would just be happy to have her in my life as a friend. Each day, the meeting gets closer. I feel more nervous. Keep your fingers crossed and our situation in your prayers. That's so cute.
That's just like the universe.
I know.
Just meant to put them together.
Yeah, totally.
Aw. Damn, I hope it works out for them.
I know.
I am so in love. My boyfriend is the most amazing guy I've ever met. We've had our ups and downs like any couple, of course, but I never thought a love like this was possible. We are flawed. We make mistakes. We are human. But at the end of the day, we love each other and that's what matters. Last Last night, we came home and he pulled me close, and we slow danced in his living room at 11 o'clock at night when he had to get up for work at 5 a.m. the next day. He just held me close and told me he loved me, and we danced. I have never felt more loved, and if I told my 11-year-old self I'd had a love like this, I would have called me a liar. Sure, real love is messy and tough and a big learning curve, but it can also have moments just like the movies, wholesome and fulfilling, absolutely 110% worth all of it. I hope everyone can experience a love like this one. Me too, OP.
Pure.
Me too.
Wait, I have another love one. I like the love ones.
Yeah.
In 2005, I was at a holiday park with my family, and I was booked for a fencing lesson. This girl was struggling to put her armor on, so I decided to go lend a hand. We were a similar age, so I figured it seemed all right. We later met again on a harnessed high ropes event, and I went to hang out with her and her boyfriend at the time because everyone else was older, and I wanted to hang out around people my age. We were 14 at the time. We had a lot of fun. Funny enough, it was her boyfriend that said we should exchange email addresses. Following that, we kept in touch on MSN Messenger and texting. We weren't flirty or anything, just like talking to each other. We became best friends for 10 years. Her and her boyfriend broke up after 2 years or so, and she had another boyfriend in that time. Once a year, over the summer holidays, I would fly over to visit her and stay with her and her family for about 2 weeks. No particular plans, we'd just hang out. I wasn't interested in dating her at the time, though there was one time I was over and we were watching TV together with an arm around each other. We were both very huggy people, and it seemed not that weird since she'd broken up with her boyfriend. Anyways, I went to hold her hand because I just kind of thought it would be nice, and at that moment, in my head, it was just, oh my god, I have a crush on my best friend. I passed it off as just a thing, though I was scared that me having a crush on my best friend would ruin everything. For context, I had had about 12 prior relationships that had all gone sour. I believed myself to be cursed. Many of them I think I had been cheated on, though I never confirmed. Aww. Anyway, I kept my feelings hidden, and because I did this, it also meant that I was quieter than usual, which she picked up on immediately, and was wondering why I wasn't talking as much. I thought I was chatting normally. I was all, wait, am I not? Sorry, I must have been caught up in studies these days. She pressed it because she knew I was hiding something, so I confessed that I had feelings for her, and she confessed she had feelings for me. We started dating from there. I was still very scared because I had a belief that every relationship with me would utterly fail. So yeah, we dated for about 3 years. I flew over and moved in. We bought our own place. Then a year later, I proposed and she said yes. We're still going strong. Best friend ever. Best wife ever. Best wedding ever. Right now, we're saving money hard to pay off my student loans and loan from her parents and my parents. And our current life goal is to get our lives to a point where we can get a dog, and our lifestyle allows us to take care of it responsibly.
Oh, P, get that dog.
Wait,
Stay
that's
with your
so
wife.
cute.
I love the how we met stories.
I know. I want to do a whole episode with them.
Husband is sleeping right now. It's 2 p.m. and he's snoring so loudly. I could listen to it forever. He just worked a 24-hour shift, so he's catching up on sleep, and I'm just laying here with him. I'm so in love with him. I've never met someone so kind and respectful. I don't know what I ever did to deserve this, but I'm so thankful for him. We're about to have our first baby, and he's been nothing but supportive and loving this whole pregnancy, just the same as he was before. I've been anything but easy to deal with, and I know that, but he hasn't once made me feel bad at all for my unnecessary breakdowns and irrational needs. He's been cleaning the house and taking care of basically everything so I can rest. I'm not working right now, and he's never complained about having to pay the bills. He's so excited to be a dad, and he can't wait for our daughter to be here. He loves me so much, and I know he would do anything for me, and I would absolutely do the same thing for him. I'm about to go downstairs and clean the house so he has nothing to worry about for the rest of his day, but I just don't want him to get up. I love the sound of him breathing. He really is my best friend. I don't know what the point of this is, but I guess I just see so many posts about horrible relationships and terrible things happening to good people, and I wanted to share that it can be so great. I don't think I could ever be happier. That is so sweet.
I know. I'd been saving a $100 bill in my wallet for months on end, waiting to use it. Every time I went to spend it, my gut said no. Every time I went to give it to a random panhandler, my gut said no. A few weeks ago, I saw a woman with her child on the side of the road asking for money for diapers and formula. She didn't have any of the hallmarks of a long-term homeless person or of a junkie, just looked like a desperate mother in need. As I passed her, my gut just said, it's time. So I stopped and gave her the $100. The look on her face when she realized the single bill I was giving her was $100 was priceless, and I'll never forget it. Best $100 I've ever spent. The only person I told was my girlfriend because she asked me why I always carry a $100 bill on me that I never spend. So I told her when I finally let it go. Normally I wouldn't go bragging about it, but hey, if we're asking for wholesome secrets, I suppose this is an appropriate place to tell the story.
That is a wholesome secret.
I know. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of money and stories like that, if you want to just like cry, watch on TikTok this guy named Jimmy Darts. He just like goes up to people in a store, like at like Walmart or Target or something. He'll like ask them to do these like weird little tasks and see who says yes. And then the first person that says yes, he like gives them $500. And I seriously feel like the universe leads him to the most in need people and worthy people, because he'll ask people like, oh, do you want to buy this hat for $5? And then like inside the hat is like $500 or something. And then the person that like takes the risk and does it, or like he'll ask them like, oh, will you buy me water? Like I'm so thirsty and don't have money. And then the first person that buys him water, he gives them $500, and they're like, I literally can't even afford my own groceries right now, and I didn't know how I was going to pay for this. And like I just feel like it's just meant to be. Yeah. And his whole TikTok account, I just like watch all the videos and just cry. It's so pure, and they play like the emotional music over it. God. It's so good. The guy's called Jimmy Darts, so everyone should look it up. My son's 10-year-old classmate showed up to a birthday party 2 hours early. When we asked him why, he said he didn't know proper etiquette because he had never been to a birthday party before. Wait, maybe that's not wholesome. Maybe that's sad. I don't know.
That is sad.
But the fact that he got invited, and he came 2 hours early, like just include everyone.
Just everyone.
Yeah. Wait, another side note that's just like wholesome now is the Turpin story of those parents that it's actually tragic. They kept 13 kids like locked in their house their whole life, and only the 2 oldest ones got to go to school for a couple years. It's called the Turpin House of Horrors. I think you guys should definitely watch it on, what was that show that did a series like on
60
them?
Minutes or something.
Yeah, they did 60 Minutes, and the girl that came out and told her story, Jordan Turpin, she's so amazing, and her story is just so incredible. But
it's also really important to watch to get like a good understanding of how sad like our system is, because so many of these kids were rescued from literal torture by their parents and were then put into worse foster homes.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So like it's crazy, very eye-opening, so everyone should watch it.
Yeah, crazy story. But her older sister, who got to go to school for a few years before her parents started abusing them even more, she was clearly abused when she would go to this public school, and she would smell bad, she would be wearing dirty clothes, she would wear the same clothes to school every single day, and nobody wanted to be her friend. Everyone ignored her, avoided her, and this guy who was in her class, and everyone's now an adult, he came out and made a statement later. I think he was a doctor, and he was like, this girl is the girl that nobody wanted to be friends with. Everyone avoided her, when so clearly she was struggling, and all she needed was someone to be there for her and ask her like, are you okay? Do you need help? And it could have changed like everything. And basically he was like, befriend that person. It's so easy to judge people and be like, ew, like they're weird or gross. Like you don't know what people are going through, and just like being a friend to someone and including the other person, like that could change their whole life. Okay, I'll do this as my last one. I think it's happy.
You think, or you know?
I think it's happy.
Oh.
This is a happy story. In college, there was a girl I was interested in, but she had a boyfriend. We worked together in class a bit, but that was all. One day, I went out to eat with some family at a Japanese steakhouse where a chef comes to your table and cooks in front of you. They often sit multiple small groups at the same table since the table is so large. Anyway, as they were taking us back to our seats, when we were walking down a hallway, I got this image in my mind of a table with this girl I liked sitting at the corner. When we came into the room, and there she was, just as I had seen her in my mind, I was in shock the whole night. I never said a word to her, as she appeared to be with her boyfriend and another couple. I hardly spoke to my family. I just couldn't believe what had happened. Long story short, they broke up not long after, and she and I have been married a number of years now. She later told me that she had a similar experience as I walked around the corner. Not to get too religious, but we felt like the universe was trying to give us a little push. Just just kind of a pay attention message. This is an important moment for you. Nothing else of note really happened that night, but I definitely took her more seriously after that. It has paid off. That is so crazy. Like, he just was in a restaurant and he randomly thought of her and then walked into the back room and she was there.
Yeah.
And now they're married.
The universe has its ways.
He moves in mysterious ways. I think that's a song.
I don't know. Yeah, the universe has its plans, though. That is crazy.
That's crazy. I liked this episode.
Yeah, it was good. Some of the things were sad. So I feel like this was meant to be fully wholehearted and wholesome, and then we still hit a couple of hard hitters.
I know.
But I guess you can't escape them in the world we live in.
No.
So you got to turn them around.
They all had pretty much happy outcomes. So that's good.
They did.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Lighthearted before the holidays. Hopefully it lifted your spirits and maybe it will inspire us to pay kindness forward and be nice to people.
And be better people.
Yeah, which is what we all need and we should all do.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone needs someone and we can be that for someone else.
Totally.
Aww.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Yes.
And happy New Year. I think there's still going to be one more episode before the New Year, but this is where we're getting out all of our wholesome shit. So just stay here.
Be ready for a tragic New Year.
Yeah, we'll be back to depressing, crazy, dramatic stories next week.
Yes, perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thanks for listening.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate you. We love you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.